Welcome to this deep dive, and today we'll be uncorking the story behind Black Vines.
Ooh, I like that.
We've got a pretty fascinating mix of sources for this one. A YouTube interview with the founder, Fern A. Stroud, their website, and even a news piece on their festival.
That was voted #1 in the country.
Yeah, that's right. So you might be thinking, okay, a wine event, that's cool.
Sure.
But this is way more than just, sipping and swirling.
Right.
We're going to uncover how Black Vines are building a whole economic ecosystem around Black winemakers and Black-owned businesses.
It is fascinating how it started as just a small gathering in Oakland back in 2010.
Yeah.
And it's become this national movement now.
Exactly. And to really appreciate that journey, I think we need to start with Fern Stroud's own path. I mean, she had this vision of bringing together art, music, and these Black-owned wineries. But she didn't even realize she was in the wine industry for the first 5 years.
That's wild.
Talk about an unexpected career turn.
Yeah, it really speaks to her initial focus on community building rather than, let's say, the technicalities of winemaking.
Yeah.
It wasn't until she started volunteering at BR Wine Co. in Oakland that she really started getting into the nitty-gritty of wine,
Right.
learning from the experts, developing her palate.
And speaking of learning, I was reading your source about Stroud's background, and before wine, she was deep into tech. We're talking coding since 1994.
Wow.
Even taking apart computers as a kid. That's some serious problem solving right there.
It really makes you think about how those skills might have, transferred over into the wine world.
Yeah.
Stroud often talks about breaking down language barriers in the industry.
Yeah.
And maybe for her, demystifying complex systems is a talent that works, whether it's lines of code or,
Right.
understanding the nuances of different grape varietals.
That's a really interesting connection, and it seems to tie into Black Vine's core philosophy
Yeah.
of making wine less intimidating and more accessible. Stroud talks in the interview about how some sommeliers, those wine experts who curate lists at restaurants,
Right.
can sometimes come across as, well, a little stuffy,
Yeah.
focused on all that fancy terminology and exclusive experiences.
Mhm.
Black Vine seems to be doing the opposite, welcoming everyone to the table.
Right, and you can see that reflected in how they define their customers.
Yeah.
It's not just people coming to the events to enjoy the wine. It's also the sponsors that back their mission. And crucially, the Black-owned wineries and small businesses that they champion.
So it's less about isolated transactions and more about building a web of support.
Exactly. Black Vines is very intentional about who they partner with, choosing businesses that share their values.
And a big part of that is this concept of circulating the Black dollar within the community,
Yes.
which Stroud emphasizes a lot. What does that actually mean in this context?
Well, it means consciously directing spending power toward Black-owned businesses, which then helps those businesses grow, hire more people, and ultimately reinvest back into the community.
So it's a cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle of economic empowerment that Black Vines is actively facilitating.
I was blown away to learn that they've compiled a list of 52 wineries for their directory of Black-owned wineries.
52.
That's a valuable resource in itself, considering how these businesses don't always get the same visibility as larger, more established brands.
It's about tackling that lack of representation head on. And it goes beyond just a listing.
Right.
Stroud mentions in the YouTube video how they actively help these wineries, even assisting with things like moving facilities.
Oh, wow.
They're truly invested in their success.
And then there's the residency program they offer,
Yes.
which I thought was really unique.
Yeah.
This gives Black winemakers who might not have their own tasting rooms a platform to showcase their wines and connect with a wider audience.
It's a brilliant way to overcome a significant barrier to entry in the wine world. Tasting rooms can be expensive to operate, and without that direct-to-consumer channel,
Right.
it can be difficult for smaller wineries to gain traction.
Yeah.
Black Vines is leveling the playing field by providing that space and exposure.
It seems like they're constantly finding ways to be innovative and resourceful.
Absolutely. And the story doesn't end in Oakland.
Okay.
Black Vines is expanding, bringing their events to other cities, and even going international.
Wow.
They already held their first international event in Belize.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
They're also growing their membership program, offering discounts and year-round support, not just for members, but also for the Black-owned wineries in their network. It's like building a sustainable ecosystem where everyone benefits.
And that commitment to constant evolution is really key. In the news segment about the festival,
Yeah.
they talk about how Black Finds is always seeking feedback, trying to find new ways to improve and better serve the community.
And we can't forget Calabash Wine Bar. This collaboration with Black Finds is another piece of the puzzle. They feature a wine list that's predominantly Black-owned wines and offer those same rotating residency programs for winemakers, giving them a physical space to shine.
It's another example of their holistic approach. They're not just promoting wine,
Yeah.
they're creating opportunities, fostering community, and driving economic empowerment.
So from a single event to a nationwide movement, Black Finds has come a long way.
It really has.
But what does it all mean for someone like you who provided these sources for our deep dive? What stands out to you about this organization?
For me, it's the intentionality behind everything they do. Every initiative, every partnership, every event is carefully crafted to support their mission.
Yeah.
They're not just throwing a party and hoping for the best.
Right.
You're building a legacy. It's inspiring, right? And it makes you wonder, how do you support organizations like Black Finds, even if you're not like directly involved in the wine world?
That's the question I was just thinking about. It's easy to get swept up in the story, but what are some concrete actions that listeners can take?
Well, it starts with identifying what you're passionate about. Is it supporting local businesses? Advocating for more diversity in certain industries, maybe it's something like food justice, or creating more equitable access to resources.
So find that spark, that thing that really motivates you.
Exactly. Then think about your unique skills and resources.
Right.
What do you bring to the table? Maybe you're amazing at social media and can help spread the word about organizations doing great work.
Yeah.
Or perhaps you have financial resources that you can donate or even invest.
Even something as simple as attending events, volunteering your time, or just sharing information with your network can make a real difference, right?
And don't underestimate the power of just, talking about these issues.
Yeah.
Advocate for the organizations you believe in. Have conversations with your friends and family.
Right.
Raising awareness is a huge part of creating change.
It's about finding those actions, big or small, that fit your strengths and interest.
Now, going back to Black Finds, one thing that really struck me was their emphasis on creating a sense of belonging and celebration. It's more than just promoting wine.
Yeah.
It's about showcasing Black excellence in all its forms. The art, the music, the entrepreneurship, the community leadership, it's all woven together.
And remember Stroud's point about those language barriers. It's not just about making sure people understand the difference between a Cabernet and a Pinot Noir.
Right.
It's about making everyone feel welcome and empowered to participate regardless of their background or prior knowledge.
Right. Breaking down those barriers of exclusivity that can often exist,
Yeah.
especially in industries like wine that sometimes have a reputation for being a bit, pretentious.
Exactly. Black Finds is showing that inclusivity isn't just some feel-good concept.
Right.
It's actually good for business. By supporting a diverse range of businesses and creating a welcoming environment, they're building a more sustainable and vibrant ecosystem.
It's a win-win for everyone involved. And it's a model that can be applied in so many other fields.
We've talked a lot about how Black Finds supports winemakers, but what about the people actually enjoying the wine? What stood out to you about their approach to the consumer experience?
Well, Stroud talks about wanting to create unpretentious luxury, which I found really intriguing.
Yeah.
What does that actually look and feel like?
It made me think about that anecdote she shared in the interview about how she hates bugs and would never pick grapes herself. I thought that was hilarious and also kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
Even in the world of wine, which can feel very formal, there's room for humor and realness.
Yeah. It makes you realize that they're not trying to create this image of unattainable sophistication.
Right.
They're focused on making the experience enjoyable and accessible, whether you're a seasoned wine connoisseur or just starting to explore different varietals.
It's about shifting the focus from exclusivity to enjoyment.
Right. And it goes back to that emphasis on community and connection. Wine is often something you share with others. So creating a welcoming and inclusive atmosphere is key to making the experience positive for everyone.
It's about breaking down those barriers and encouraging people to, come together, appreciate good wine, and connect with each other.
And I think that's something we can all raise a glass to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive into Black Finds, we want to leave you with something to ponder. We've talked about their mission, their impact, their growth. But what about the future of Black Finds? Where do they go from here? Our sources don't give us concrete plans, but they do kind of hint at Stroud's vision.
Well, think about how they tackled that issue of visibility for Black-owned wineries with that directory.
Yeah.
It's a powerful resource,
Right.
but it's static.
Uh-huh.
What if they could create something more, like, dynamic, more interactive?
Ooh. Like a platform that connects consumers and wineries,
Yeah.
and even those residency programs in a more engaging way.
Exactly.
Right.
Imagine a digital space where you could not only discover new wines, but also learn about the winemakers, the regions, the stories behind each bottle.
Right.
It could be a way to foster a deeper appreciation and understanding of Black wine culture.
And maybe even incorporate those elements of art and music
Yeah.
that were part of Stroud's initial vision.
Right.
It could be like a virtual Black Vines festival that's accessible year-round.
Now, that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
It'd be a game changer for these wineries, giving them a much wider reach and a more sustainable way to, connect with consumers.
Right.
And for consumers, it would be a gateway to a whole world of wine experiences they might not otherwise have discovered.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Black Vines, what are some key takeaways for our listener? What do you hope they walk away with?
For me, it's a reminder that passion and purpose can be incredibly powerful drivers of change.
Yeah.
Stroud started with a simple idea to create a space for community and celebration, and it blossomed into this movement that's reshaping the wine industry.
It also highlights the importance of thinking outside the box when it comes to supporting causes that you care about.
Yeah.
Black Vines isn't just about, writing a check or attending an event.
Right.
It's about building a system of support, fostering economic empowerment, and creating opportunities for others to thrive.
And it shows that inclusivity isn't just a buzzword.
Right.
It's a key ingredient for a vibrant and successful ecosystem. By breaking down barriers and welcoming everyone to the table, Black Vines is creating something truly special.
So we encourage you to explore Black Vines further. Visit their website, check out their directory of wineries, and consider joining their membership program. Who knows, you might just discover your new favorite wine.
And more importantly, you'll be supporting a movement that's making a real difference.
Cheers to that.